Dragon Ball Legacy. What exactly is that? Find out now. Dragon Ball Legacy is a fan-driven written work created by Brian, aka TheOneToughNerd on the internet. There seems to be a stigma against fan manga and novels, mostly due to them not being that great, with the prime example being various versions of Dragon Ball AF. The difference with Dragon Ball Legacy though is that it's actually quite good and thought out. Brian has been working on Legacy for the past few years now, and the whole idea of it is to have a Dragon Ball type storyline set in a more realistic fashion. Now I know what you're thinking, this has been done before and it's failed, but this isn't just a drama series with Dragon Ball characters thrown in. Legacy feels like something in the universe of Dragon Ball, but it has a different style to it, a different flavour, which I find very interesting. Legacy is not a rewrite, remake or continuation of the existing Dragon Ball manga or anime series. It's more like a modification to the world with its own cast. Think of it like a mod from a video game. It uses the base concepts found in the original game, but it changes it enough so it's new. You can also think of Legacy as a different timeline stream to Dragon Ball, with various lore changes and whatnot. Furthermore, Dragon Ball Legacy doesn't really use Goku nor the main cast either, like I said, as Brian has created fresh characters for this series. I love this idea, since despite me adoring Goku, Vegeta and the others, it's great to see someone make new characters with new personalities. And no, Dragon Ball Legacy doesn't just insert an original character in the world of Dragon Ball, it simply takes the world and its dynamics and modifies it. Think of that as sort of a side story or parallel dimension, but more grounded in reality while still having ki blasts and the awesome fights. So the lead character of Dragon Ball Legacy is Jin, a Saiyan who is born on planet Vegeta and sent to Earth. In the opening chapter, I like that he's just a normal dude on Earth, but with all of them Saiyan powers. Also, he's not a Superman type character either, since he's perfectly content with being a normal guy and still fighting like a Saiyan. There's no inner struggle or anything either, like there is with Superman or even Gohan. This isn't the type of story about him finding his way to balance it all, no, it just cuts to what we want to see. The story involves Jin flunking a job interview and he's walking home. It immediately sets up what type of character he is, similar to how Goku's character is realized in the first few manga panels. And that's it. I'm not going to spoil all of the chapters for you, and I urge you to read Dragon Ball Legacy itself, so I'll be leaving a link in the description down below, so now you know about it. Although you can check out this narration of the creator himself reading Dragon Ball Legacy, let's play it now. See you later.
What is that? Jin thought to himself as he pulled his senses away from the ship. What the hell is going on? Looking around, he noticed that hundreds of people who had been going about their business just moments before, had now stopped and turned their eyes toward the sky. A voice screamed inside Jin's head. It wanted him to yell for them to run, to order them to find shelter, but he couldn't bring himself to say the words. He had trained and prepared for situations like this since he was young, but now, finally faced with something of this scale, he found himself too shaken to think straight. His training demanded that he take action, but the words of his mentor and guardian echoed in his mind. Never reveal yourself. That simple order was the old man's first and most absolute teaching, and Jin had done his best to follow it, with little exception. It only took a single moment for Jin to forsake that entirely. One of the ships closest to the ground fired a beam at a nearby building, blowing a large hole in its side and sending a shower of rubble toward the crowds. Jin acted quickly and instinctively, whipping his left arm outward and letting loose a shockwave of energy. The blast collided with the burning concrete and twisted metal, sending it crashing harmlessly to the ground without hitting anyone. As quickly as he had acted, the eyes of the people had shifted to him. Time seemed to freeze as the people of West City noticed his presence for the first time. Here stood a young man, dressed in plain clothing, his arm outstretched and his dark hair disheveled with effort. A young man who had protected them by shooting light from his hand.